Alrighty. Jesus. Looks so far up there. There we go. So far away all of a sudden. That's weird. Actually, I messed with the camera and I jostled everything about it, I think. There we go. Alrighty. So this probably didn't help that I have the computer sitting on a ledge funny, but oh well. I'll worry about all that stuff later. Hello, hello. Get myself adjusted here. Everybody hear me all right? So I'm just a little bit early. Hello, Chris. Hello, Amanda. It's a nice humid one today. Hopefully we're not having a bad connection today. I see some numbers coming and going. We've been getting some rain and some nice cloud cover, so hopefully it's not affecting anything. All right. Says I got 4 people on. 5. Awesome. If there's anybody new that's popping up, I usually give a few minutes into this for people to get on and to make sure everything sounds all right before we get started. So Amanda, did y'all get rained on pretty good? I know, Chris, you said it looked like it was starting to rain, but then it got sunny out there. All right. Give it a couple more minutes and get going here shortly. Got a passed out dog next to me. X is all sprawled out over here. I had my rat, or the rat was watching me earlier while I was doing stuff, and now she's just kind of sitting on top of everything. Hello, Krista. Yeah, I try to have one of these every day. Try to help my gut as much as possible, since I usually, drink that and then sometimes don't eat or drink the anything that I should be eating or drinking. I'm hoping maybe I'll even it out a little bit, by drinking this stuff. My mom got me started drinking this stuff years ago. So, and it's the best one that I like so far. All right, we're just going to give a couple more minutes for a few people. See if anybody else comes on. If there's anybody new today, please say hello, so I know. Get some. All right. Oh, I'm having an issue, which All right. Hopefully it's not too bad. Sorry about that. Apparently I'm having an issue. I'm wondering if it's the weather we've had. So please stay with me. We may have a few technical difficulties. I don't know. So it was supposed to rain all day long, and it didn't really start until about an hour ago. So I was like, yeah, there we go. Start getting the real stuff right before I go live. Scotland. Well, hello, Allison. How's it going over there in Scotland? Some of my family comes from there. My grandfather used to go over about once a year to visit. It's a dream of mine to eventually go over to where my family was from. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll get going. So, windy and rainy. There we go. That's always a fun combination. It's rainy and humid here, so probably a little bit better on this end, I guess, maybe. Unless you're not big in humidity, then. All right. We're going to get started. Anybody who's new, pack waterproofs then. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll make sure I do that. Yeah, like I said, it's been a dream of mine to go over there. I've always wanted to go. So one day I hope to make it. All right, we're going to get started. So today we are going to do, hopefully I won't butcher this, anthropomorphism. There we go. Yay, I got it out. Yeah, it's one of those words that sometimes in your head it sounds like you're saying it right, and as it starts to come out, you just kind of butcher the crap out of it. So, all right. So, anthropomorphism. The definition behind it is the attribute of human characteristics or behavior. The attribution of human characteristics or behavior to a god, animal, or object. And why do we do this? It's to make them more relatable. A good example is, if you're religious, Jesus or God or whatever. He's, for here in the U.S. or for most white people, he's white and got long brown hair, blondish brown hair. If you're in Africa, he is darker color. His hair is different. Things like that. It's to make him more. It's to make an object or a thing more relatable to you. So that's the reason why I believe that this is done. All right, so this to me was kind of a little like ideas behind it and what I want to say. I've always had it in my head, and I talk about this occasionally while I'm training dogs and dealing with clients and stuff. But it's kind of hard to put it in order. I usually try to put some of my stuff in some sort of an order and kind of, follow down the line, I guess you could say. But for me, for some reason, this one just seemed to be, I guess it's because it's not really a progressive thing. So kind of bear with me if it seems like I'm jumping around a little bit. All right. So where I think this kind of got started for like dogs particularly, they say that this stems back from like I said, Greek mythology and all this kind of stuff, or even Egyptians when they were making gods and things look human and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like what really made it go mainstream was what my friend Jim calls Disney dogs. It's just, any of these TV shows, movies and TVs, they change the way we see dogs. They're, because by humanizing them, it's easier to get a moral point across, so in certain types of breeds or animals sometimes represent a certain type of person or, of people. So it's kind of like a way to kind of get people to watch stuff without pointing fingers at one certain person or group. So that's where I think kind of, and now because of that, then people started trying to humanize dogs a lot after that, because you see them all dressed up and they're wearing clothes instead of being naked, which animals are, generally by nature are supposed to be naked. So, things of that nature. So I feel like that's it. Then you have like Rin Tin Tin came along, and I know some, I don't know, Allison, if Rin Tin Tin was big over there or not. How much of old American TV stuff like that was there, but we had like Rin Tin Tin, or even like Lassie. Most people know what Lassie is because they always at least make fun of the show, even if they've never seen it. Timmy and Lassie. Timmy's always going off and getting lost and falling in a well. So it's one of those things. Does Lassie really have an understanding of what's going on? Does she go, Jesus Christ, what the hell is wrong with Timmy? He's always getting lost and always falling in a well. This kid's got some problems. Somebody put a bell on him, for Christ's sake. Or is it because, he's always getting lost, or something's always happening to him, and they always have to have her go find him, that it's just become a learned, something that's been learned. So sorry about that. The dog's barking outside and stuff. But is it that they learned? Is it a learned behavior? Basically, have they taught Lassie to track for Timmy? Is that what's going on? So it's like, is she really doing it because she loves him, or is it because it's become her job to find him? So, it's things of that nature, but for me, they're still humanizing it because she's sad or she's worried. When is she really? You got other stories like, I want to say it was over in like China or Japan. If anybody knows this, they can correct me, but there was a gentleman who every day he would go to work and he'd walk to work, and his dog would come with him since it was a puppy. And it'd follow him there, and he'd get on the bus and he'd go to work. And then the dog was there when he got off the bus and it were train or whatever, and and then they would go home together. And they did this every day for years. Well, one day the guy went off to work, and apparently he died on the way home. But of course, the dog has no way of knowing this. He doesn't know that the guy's dead or understands that. But the dog still comes and goes to the train station every day, and then goes home. Is it love? Is it loyalty? Or is that a trained behavior? Does he do it because he was taught to do that as a habit? So, there and again, they talk about it. They want to use that as an idea of loyalty. So, yes, thank you, Amanda. I know they have a statue of him too. I think it is. Because I watched the thing on that. Thanks for putting his name up there. I appreciate it. But I mean, it's a nice thought. It makes people feel good. It makes people, get a connection with the dog and the person by humanizing them. So it makes you connect to them, basically, by giving them human characteristics, like I was saying earlier. So now, another thing is, does he understand me? Or does he understand what I'm saying? Or understand what he's done? To me, not really. It's your tone and your body language that he's feeding off of. If you come home and your dog is just freaking tearing the house to pieces, and as soon as you walk in that door and you see him just chewing stuff to just going crazy, just tearing the house down. Or if you come home and it's just a complete and total freaking catastrophe, and you come home and he comes running up to you and greets you at the door, we're going to look around and you're going to be like, what the hell is this? And your facial features will change, your body language changes, your tone changes. Well, he immediately starts reacting to that. A lot of people don't realize dogs live their lives primarily off of body language. So they instantly pick up when our bodies change. We even give a different scent or smell. So they will pick this up. But like I said, even our tone of voice changes. So, well, of course they think something's wrong because that tone of voice or that body language, I'm sure, has been used before for other things. So it's not that they know that they tore the house up or they feel bad for it. They just realize, oh crap, now I'm in trouble. So it's the body language and the tone. Because think of it this way: if you came home and he was chewing up the house, or he tore up the house, or pooped all over the house, or whatever, and you walked in the door and you looked at him and go, "Oh, you are such a horrible boy. Look how terrible you are. I can't believe you ate my house." How do you think he's going to react? He's going to be like, "Ah, crap, I'm in trouble." No, he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, look at me. I'm a horrible boy. Oh yeah, horrible. I love being horrible. It's great." So it's the body language has changed. You're saying the same thing, you ate my shit. What the hell's wrong with you? But your tone's different. So he picks up on that. So that to me, it's not, he doesn't know it or understand it. It's the tone that you're using. He's learned that tone and that body language has a negative, meaning behind it. So with that being said, it's your reaction to the event that elicits the dog's reaction. If you just walked in and he was chewing the house and you're watching and he's over there chewing on the leg of a chair before, and you've never yelled at him for chewing on a leg of a chair before, because you can also get them used to things like chews on a leg of a chair, you come in and you yell at him. Well, then he stops. Well, then you go and do something, you go outside, he chews it on it a little bit more, and then he stops on his own. You come in, he doesn't know he did it. Well, he can learn chewing on it when you're home is bad, or when you're there is bad. Chewing on it when you're gone is not bad. So, but if you come home and you have never done anything about it, you just walked in the door and just let him do it, he's not going to react to it. He's not going to know that he's doing something bad. He's just going to keep chewing the chair, or he's going to get up and come see you because he's excited to see you. But I mean, he's not going to feel bad for it. Like, oh crap, I chewed the chair. I am so sorry. So sorry. So, so here's kind of another example. If you say your dog is happy, you're in a good mood. Do I believe dogs show some sort of emotion? Yes, to an extent. Yes, they show fear. Yes, they, can get angry. But it's not an emotional anger. It's not an emotional fear. It's not an emotional happy. Like, they don't understand the situation. If you say your dog is happy, you're not putting human emotion on it. You're just saying he's happy. But if you say my dog is happy because I'm throwing him a birthday party and all these people are here and he's having a good old time, he doesn't know it's a birthday party. He's not happy because it's his birthday. He's happy because of all the attention that he's getting that's there. He could care less if it was his birthday party. He doesn't know. Anybody have any questions or comments or statements on this? All right, so I hear this a lot. I don't like people, but I love my dogs. So what do people do? They don't like people, but they turn around and I don't like people, but then they turn around and they turn their dogs into little humans. So it's kind of silly in a way. Like, you don't like people, but then you're turning your dog into a little human. You're carrying him around. You're dressing him up in an outfit. You're talking to him like he's a person. Look at me, I'm making a ham sandwich. You want a ham sandwich? We're going to watch TV. How about we go over here and watch Animal Planet? Because I know that's your favorite channel. That's, you're putting human, thoughts into this, and here he is. You're talking about you like your dog because he's a dog. And then you're making him a tiny little human. Putting clothes on your dog. Is it good or bad? Well, to me, it depends. If it's needed because you have like a Mexican hairless and you live in Alaska, well, one, you probably shouldn't have gotten a Mexican hairless and live in Alaska, but you're going to need to put a coat on him, because, he is not a winter dog. He is not a northern dog. But if you're dressing him up and you're treating him like a little human, I think that is bad. I believe that can cause stress. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not some dogs that don't like it, or you can, maybe it's their job to dress, I guess you could say, but it's still a job. It's not so much they're a little human. You gave them a job to do. But you'll see some of these dogs, they're dressed up And people are always like, oh, what's a little dog? It's like it's shaking or it won't move. It just stands there frozen like this when they put an outfit on it. It's because they probably don't like it. It causes stress. Putting human emotion and human ideas onto dogs can cause stress on a dog just because they are not humans. So like I said, putting our needs, feelings, and wants on the dogs. We have different needs and wants than dogs do. They don't have the same needs and wants that we have. For a simple example, they don't need money or want money. They don't know anything about money. We need money and we want money for a certain extent. I mean, we may not want to have money, but we need it. So, but because that, we can't treat them like they're humans because they're not. They're just simply not humans. We see the world differently. They see it, they live right in the moment. We just don't see the world the same way. I mean, you can't take a human baby and throw it in with a family of elephants and it becomes an elephant. Or you can't bring an elephant into a household and turn it into a human. It's not going to work. It's just, we're different species. It's not going to work. I mean, it's even been done with monkeys before. I know for one, there was one in like the 30s, an experiment in the 30s, where this family took took their young son and a monkey and brought the monkey in, and 12 hours a day, they treated them exactly the same. Well, the monkey jumped in its abilities, but it finally hit its finally just evened out and hit its where the highest it could go with anything. But one thing that they did find was that the child started picking up grunts and different attributes of the monkey. The child actually started declining a little bit in the monkey while the monkey ended up here, but they couldn't get the monkey to go anywhere. So what's funny about it though is once they had all this crazy studies and all these great records, and all of a sudden they were done with the study. Done. And people attributed it because they stopped because the kid was starting to regress more than it was starting to learn. So, so like I said, we're different. You can do it with anything, like penguins. Everybody's always want to say penguins is great. I think we should save endangered penguins. So they try to humanize them. They tell them they get little tuxedos on and they do all this and they do this. Look how cute they are. And they're in movies and they're silly little animals in movies and they're comedic relief and all that. But in reality, penguins are horrible, horrible creatures. They molest and have sex with everything that they can get a hold of, but that's because they have to. To survive. They've got to breed. It's their genetic trait is to breed. So, but we want a human, but if we put that out there that, penguins, have sex with everything and molest every freaking creature, living or dead, old or young or male or female, people are probably not going to be as interested in throwing money out there to save the penguins. So we have to humanize them. So. All right. Anybody have anything they want to add to that, or tell me I'm wrong, or that they feel like I'm wrong? Which, like I said, this is just my opinion. I state that on a lot of the stuff I do. This is my opinion from doing what I do for a living and what I've been around for the last 20 plus years, and just studying and working with dogs. So. Now who knows? Maybe one day we'll find out. We'll be able to hook up a machine and find out, able dogs can talk. And this whole time we were all completely wrong, or I was completely wrong. And they do love and they do feel and they do think about stuff like that. So, all right. So love. Does my dog love me? I believe they do. I say yes. But I don't believe it's the same type of love that we put on them as we would put on other humans or get from other humans. I do believe that they do have some form of love for us. But I always tell people all the time, because people ask me this, say what man says. I know I have this issue, so I give myself an hour to treat them like kids. Then the rest of the time they are dogs. There you go. That way you can get your fix, and then they can go back to their lives. I always tell people, I think that, one, they have a really big bond with us. I think they bond really well with us as we do bonding with them. But if I was to stop feeding my dog and my next door neighbor started feeding my dog, my neighbor would have a new dog that loves them, so I do believe that they do have some form of love and feeling for us, but I don't think it's the same way we love them. Because dogs operate on drives: play, prey, and food. That's, it's things that motivate them to work for us, to want to be with us. So it's to me, it's as simple as that. I do believe they have some sort of, I do believe they can be scared. I do believe they can be angry. Do I believe they can hate? No, I don't believe dogs can hate. Dog may look at another dog and be grrr, and they're all at each other in one another's faces. But when they walk away and they leave, they're not thinking to each other, man, I really hate Fido. He's such a jerk. And they don't talk about it. When they run into another dog, they're like, dude, Fido on the other side. I know, man, he's such an asshole. They don't think like that. It's an action at the moment that elicited the response. And it was anger, whether it's just that they have a fear of dogs. So they projected trying to show, hey, get away from me, by looking tough and growling, or the dog stared at them wrong and didn't know how to interact with them, or they just may not like other dogs. That could be just something as simple as that. So, but like I said, they don't hate. They don't carry that around with them. We're the only ones that do stuff like that. We carry hate with us, and we'll think about it. We'll see a picture of somebody and we'll be like, oh, Jesus, I hate that person. Or somebody will say something and it'll make you think of that person and be like, oh, freaking Jack is such an asshole, or whatever. So, like I said, I do believe they have the ability to do things like fear and stuff like that, but to me, it's not humanizing them is where we're going wrong. All right, well, I'm pretty close to being done. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything? I see the numbers have come up and down. Like I said, I'm sorry if it's a bad connection, y'all. We got some really good heavy cloud cover going on, so I don't know what that could be affecting things. But I would like to take this time to thank everybody that's here. Please like, subscribe, share. If you have any comments, or if you have anything you'd like for me to talk about in future topics, please put that in the comments. I always answer any questions that anybody has. Let's see, Krista, do you think that certain breeds have further perpetuated the belief towards us as humans, humanizing dogs? Do you think that people tend to see smaller toy as different than larger dogs? I think so. I think it's because they're easier to carry and to dress up. If you're 75-pound or 150-pound dog, a Rottweiler or Great Dane doesn't want to wear a hat. It's a little harder to force that hat on this big giant dog when it's not wanting to do it than it is to put it on, Fluffy, who weighs 5 pounds. Plus, I think people think they're a little more cuter that way, when they're smaller. So they tend to appeal to people's, cuteness factor, I guess you could say. So that makes it that way. But yeah, I definitely think that certain breeds like, pit bulls, you see a lot of pictures of these pit bulls laying on their backs or just sitting in there when they're all grinning out and people, oh, look at him smiling. Well, I mean, because he's so happy. Well, is he really smiling, or did he do it one time and you were like, oh my goodness, look at you, and you praised him? And of course at that time he didn't know anything, but then he does it another time and you're like, oh, and you're all happy and you praise him. He does it again and you're all happy and praise him. Well, eventually, after doing it enough, he's going to be like, oh, every time I smile, I get praise. Or if you even start going, oh, look at you smile, you're putting it on cue, and you may not even realize that you're putting it on cue. because you put a word with it every single time, and then there's some sort of positive reinforcement on top of it. So then we teach them to smile, and in which case then it makes them happy. Am I saying Kevin doesn't need swimming trunks or a Hawaiian shirt? Well, of course, Dana, and then anybody that has ever met Kevin, Kevin is Dana and mine's little dog. Kevin's a little different, because he has a job. He's a CEO. He's of his own business. So, of course, he needs that. But I'm saying everybody else's dogs are different, No, but, that's, I always go with this. Dana's like always wanting to put clothes on the poor dogs. And I'm like, I don't want clothes on the dog. He's a dog. He doesn't need clothes. So, let's see. Krista says, my parents taught their dog to stretch, and now he learns that whenever he stretches, he gets attention because we all think it's cute. Exactly. It's kind of like giving paw. Dogs shake hands. Is he shaking hands with me because the first time I see him, because he's like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Fido. What's your name? No, he's learned that shaking hands gets him something. So he reached up and puts his paw up, just like sitting pretty or begging for food. Is he hungry? Is he really hungry? Probably not. He knows you got something. He wants it. It's a reaction. I don't know if you can hear this, but X is over here going. He's chasing rabbits. But yeah, so a lot of this stuff is stuff that we elicit, behaviors. We teach it. We teach them over time. We may not even realize it. Like I said, coming in the house and your dog comes in and looks at you and he gets this look on his face, or it's hiding in the corner. You may not even have seen what's going on yet, but because when you've come in and this has happened enough times, he knows that the situation causes that. So he kind of is ready for it. But most of the time, that's why when they run up to the door, they're all happy to see you, even though right behind them looks like somebody just, dropped was bomb testing in the back room back there. They're happy to see you. And then all of a sudden you look at them and you go, what is wrong with you? Oh my God. The only thing that they're thinking is like, Jesus, Mom, Dad's crazy today. Yesterday they were happy to see me. Today they're nuts. I don't know what's going on. Did the same thing as I did yesterday. I greeted them at the door and jumped up and down and had a great time. But, but they look at it differently. Like I said, it's our body language. They don't remember that happened, that they did that. So, dogs live right in the moment. So, because that's one of the things I talk about in dog training. If you can't, yes, I know you did, Amanda, that you bought it. And I thank you for buying a shirt for Noah. So, and I'm sure he'll wear it with pride because, especially when it gets colder outside, because German Shepherds are known for getting cold. So, what is the best method to when your dog has an accident in the house to where you're making it clear to them and not confusing with emotions? I've heard different things. Well, that's what I'm saying. Dogs live in the moment. Well, you kind of segueing into what I was going to say. So good job for you, Krista. Thanks. Dogs live in the moment. If you can't catch them doing what they're, doing it in the act, then it's not right to punish them for doing that. You have about 1.3 seconds from the time a dog does something to either reward them or to, punish them, basically. So give them positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement, whatever it is, whether it's withholding of food, praise, or going bad dog, or rolled up newspaper and swatting them on the nose, all that kind of stuff. So if your dog has an accident, if you didn't catch him doing it, then depending on if it's a puppy or not, then you just kind of have to try to keep an eye on your dog or keep him in a crate if you can't. So like I said, if you didn't catch him doing it, then hey, if you do catch him doing it, then what you want to do is you want to let him know that he's not supposed to be doing that. So you want to mark it with a no, like no. But you also got to be careful. You don't want to be like, no, and then them go, holy crap, and they take off running through the house while they're peeing. And now instead of cleaning up this little tiny spot, you're cleaning up, a river, that's all through your house and everything else. Not only that, but then they're going to start possibly going, well, peeing in front of Mom sucks. that was a scary experience. So you know what? I think I'll just go behind the couch and pee because nobody will notice me there. So you need to mark it, but you don't want to make it non-emotional. You want it. It's no. It's a firm no. No. And then you pick them up and you take them outside if possible. If he's still peeing, then I tell people let him finish peeing. It's way better than trying to clean than the alternative of carrying through the house. So that's my take on it. It's like if I can't keep an eye on them, like have them tethered to me, or I can't watch them while I'm doing something, then I try to have them in a crate. That way, hopefully, usually most dogs are clean animals. They're not going to the bathroom in there. But then again, they're not sneaking off to go and pee behind the couch or in another room, anything of that nature. So, hope that answered your question, Krista. So, any other questions? Oh, you're welcome, Krista. Anybody have any other questions? And real quick, like I said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Like I said, I do this every Wednesday at 6. I really appreciate everybody. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share. It'll really help me out, help me get my content out there. And like I said, another thing too is if you have a topic that you would like me to cover and talk about, please put it in the comments below. I like to do topics that you choose because then it's more likely to be more interesting to you. Not only that, but somebody may do the same thing or have thought and then forgot about it, and then you put it up there and they're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to. That's a hear what he has to say or whatever. So, all right. So I'm kind of going to go through here and finish up. Like I said, if you got anything else though, please comment. So for me, I feel like it's very much a symbiotic relationship. What other animal do you know that we have such a relationship with? There's monkeys and apes and they're similar to us, but where else is it where, we may have a lot of cats and maybe more cats in households or whatever than dogs, but cats don't serve purposes like the dogs do. Like we don't have seeing eye cats. We don't have we do have some cats that do, we'll look for bombs, but it's not as much as, we don't have personal protection cats, things like that. Just for the simple fact that, I don't know why cats are pretty nasty when they get a hold of you. But maybe we should start some personal protection cats. But seriously though, like what other animal is there on this planet that we have such a relationship with? That for anywhere from at least I think we know that it's at least 15,000 years, possibly even longer, that we go back together as a team. And we came together. We didn't come together with monkeys. We didn't come together with a lion. Something about us brought us together. There's just something that makes us work exceptionally well together as a team. And that's how I love to look at my dog. They live in my family and sleep on my bed and everything else. I feed them very well, things like that. I take them running. I have a good time with them. I enjoy them. But, they kind of have a job. But, where else we could have done this with anything, but we did it with dogs. For some reason, it just happened so well with dogs, which really it's like no wonder why we want to put human emotions on them, because, we feel so close to them. Really and truly. I can understand why, not just because it helps us try to understand the way they are, but it's just because of how long we have been together. As a team, we are a team. My dogs and I are a team. That's what we are. That's how I look at it. We look out for each other. I look out for them. They take care of me, that kind of stuff. So, it's my job as team captain to make sure that they're taken care of, but we work together. So that's how I like to look at it. It's like I said, there is no other animal out there that we have this relationship with. So on a whole. So with that being said, what I think makes dogs great is the fact that they are dogs. Not, that's what makes them so special. They're dogs. They're not little humans. They're not a penguin. They're not an otter. They're a dog. That's what makes them so great, is the way they are. It's the way they act. They're very simple, and they're very beautiful animal in their personalities and in the way they do things. They live in the moment, and they don't let emotions get in the way. They react. Everything they do is a reaction to a stimulus or its instinct, which to me makes them very pure. So, like I said, to me, a dog should be a dog, just for the simple fact that's what makes me love my dogs, because they're dogs. If I wanted another human being, I'd have more human beings. I'd have a house full of human beings, But I want a dog, not a little kid, not a little tiny human. If I want it, So with that being said, that's, to me, it's their simplicity that makes them such awesome animals. So. All right, y'all. That's all I got. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope y'all got something out of this. If you don't agree with what I have to say, please, make a comment. Start a conversation with me or with everybody else. Just as long as you're mindful and polite, I don't mind. But then let's keep that in mind. Let's not get angry towards anybody for their opinions on stuff. But then again, like I said, this is just my opinion from what I've seen over the years that I've been doing this professionally, for the last 20 something years. So, but please, if you want to start a conversation, let's start one up. I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So, but other than that, that is it, everybody. Y'all have a fantastic night. And if there's no other questions, I'll give it a minute. But if there's no other questions, and then I will see y'all next Wednesday at 6, hopefully. Thanks, Chris. Like. Yes, thank you. Everybody hit that like button and subscribe and share. I say, Chris B, I wish more people could be more open-minded about this topic. I think everything you covered was great. Thank you, Krista. I try to look through it, I try to look through it, in a different eye, I guess, sometimes than other people, just because, I don't know, I guess just the way I've been lucky with what I do for a living. So, yeah. But thanks, Krista. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday. All right, then. Well, like I said, if you got a comment you'd like me to cover, please put that, or a topic you'd like me to cover, please put that in the comments below. Other than that, everybody have a good night. Thank you.